Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to announce my team for Final Destination. But unlike Sledder's group of corporate goons, I have chosen 3 superstars who are more than just pawns in this game that Sledder likes to play. I have chosen 3 superstars who I consider not only to be rising talents, but they are also good personal friends of mine. So whoever's in the production booth, throw up the graphic and let's get this show rolling. What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97 and welcome back to an episode of WWE 13 Universe Mode. This is episode number 109, and yes, this is the matchup for Final Destination. Team Zander versus Team Sledder. It will be the team of Max Bell, X5, and Damarcus Hardy taking on Sledder's group, Team Sledder, the team of Forza, Nightmare, and Jesse Sullivan. And from what we just heard from Zander James has chosen either superstars who he knows he can trust, his friends, or rising talent who he has come to know and associate with recently. And obviously he trusts them enough to have them represent him. I mean, there's a lot riding on this tag team matchup. Whoever wins the tag team match, whoever's team wins the match, I should say, will regain managing and ownership rights to UCW. So, obviously, he knows who he's got, even calling Sledder's group a bunch of pawns. And I don't know, that's not necessarily untrue. Whether it's 100% the truth, I guess that's for Sledder to know and us not to find out. But enough about this Final Destination match. Let's go ahead and move into this matchup right here, which is going to be Richard Thompson, the UCW Hardcore Champion, go one-on-one with Lil Caesar. And from what we saw from the Chief of Thunder last week, he turned on Richard Thompson in a tag team match and aligned himself with Armageddon. And I don't know. It looks like the whole thing with Armageddon, I thought that Caesar and Amazing X were enemies. Whether the whole plan was that, if they were on the same side the whole time, and, this whole thing, even going back so far as Extreme Apocalypse, whether it was all a setup. I don't know. I don't know exactly what Armageddon had in mind. But obviously, if that wasn't the case, they, Caesar and Amazing X have worked out their issues, and they've managed to reform Armageddon to its full capacity, I should say. Because back in real UC, well, it's not even real, but you know what I mean. Back in UCW, not this universe mode, but the Federation, not Federation, what is it? What is the technical term that people like to call it? The League, the Wrestling League UCW. Armageddon consisted of these 3 superstars of Caesar, Ghost, and Amazing X. And obviously they've managed to work out their differences, and Armageddon is back now as its full 3-membered stable. But now Lil Caesar going into the cover, and there's a kick out by Richard Thompson. But from what we've seen from Amazing X and Ghost, they have their sights set on the Tag Team Championship. And from the looks of things, Lil Caesar has his eyes set on Richard Thompson's Hardcore Championship. And, I think it's enough to say Hardcore International Championship. We all know what it is. We know the titles are unified, so I'm just going to call it the Hardcore title. I just think that's easier, and it rolls off the tongue a lot better than Hardcore International. But, we all know what it is. It is the Hardcore International. I'll just say Hardcore for short, and that took forever to explain that. Anyway, into the match now, as we can see Lil Caesar measuring Richard Thompson and planting him into the mat with double underhook thing. I don't even know what to call that. Maybe a neck breaker. I don't know. It's just innovative offense. That's what that is. And now Caesar, nice counter by Richard Thompson, putting him back into the corner. There's a kick right to the rib cage, and now putting him up on that top rope. And nice kick right to the chest by Caesar to get him out of there. And now, what a move there by Richard Thompson. Caught him into a power slam. Looked like Caesar was going for a crossbody. He got caught and turned right into that power slam. So it was a very good offense there by Richard Thompson, very resourceful. And now taking down Caesar, catching the kick, and with that dragon leg sweep. But now Caesar back to the face with another kick, and he went for another one, but Richard Thompson ducks this one. And now roundhouse kick right to the side of the head. As we get to see some furious feet here from Lil Caesar. That's not the word I meant to use, but whatever. He's got some vicious kicks that we've been seeing. And now as we can see, back suplex there, dropping Richard Thompson onto his back, even the back of his head. And now just stomping away at the exposed limbs of Richard Thompson. Now to the arm and, oh, right to the face. That could break your nose. As now, just look at this, methodically pacing around Richard Thompson, stomping at anything that he can, and now hooking the leg. One, no, kick out there by Richard Thompson. But yeah, just methodical offense there by Caesar, and oh, what a move by Richard Thompson, taking him down with the reverse DDT. And now Caesar has him in a headlock, and he's lifting him up for the back suplex. What a move there by Caesar. As a nice counter there by Richard Thompson. There was the shot to the back. And now Richard Thompson's spine buster to Lil Caesar. As now Caesar, I mean, we got to remember, back at the No Escape pay-per-view, Richard Thompson eliminated Lil Caesar there. So a bit more animosity between these two than it appears on the surface. We have to remember that in the No Escape Elimination Chamber match, when the title was on the line, Richard Thompson eliminated Ghost first off, and then he went on to eliminate Lil Caesar as well. So, I mean, there is a lot of animosity between Richard Thompson and Armageddon. And if we even go back a little bit further, Amazing X and Richard Thompson had a qualifying match to get into the main event Chambers match, the number one contenders, or the UCW Championship number one contenders chamber match. And Amazing X even used a steel chair and helped him pick up the victory over Richard Thompson when the referee was knocked out. So, I mean, there's a lot of history between Richard Thompson and Armageddon in these past number of weeks. As we can see now, oh, what a nice zigzag move from Lil Caesar. And now Caesar in position. Maybe he's looking to finish off Richard Thompson here. And look at this, lifting him up. And, oh my God, Emerald Fusion dropping him right on the top of his head. And that might have even busted Richard Thompson open, I'm not sure. As we saw off the instant replay, and yes, Richard Thompson is busted open. There's a cover, but no. Rope break might have been the only thing that saved Richard Thompson there. And another kick to the face by Lil Caesar as he goes up to the top rope. And this time connects. Planning with that, okay, my toilet just randomly flushed in the bathroom for no reason. So, something with the water, I don't know what's going on there. And it kind of made me jump a little bit. But, Richard Thompson now measuring Lil Caesar for that vertical shoulder breaker. And that could be it. That could be it for Caesar. I mean, Richard Thompson out of no... Whoa, look at that. Look at the aggressiveness, the drive here shown by Caesar. He just immediately got up off of that vertical shoulder breaker. I don't think anyone has ever just stood up like that. I mean, Lil Caesar, obviously, whatever is fueling Caesar, I mean, he has turned into this very sadistic, this very psychotic individual. I mean, from what his old look was, this is far different. He's now aligned with more of Armageddon's view. He's a bit more psychotic, like I said, wearing now the face paint. And now, look at this. Going off the top rope. What is this? Oh, my, what a move. What a move there by Caesar. Taking him down with a Astro Scissors Whip. Pretty sure that's what that's called. I've never actually seen that move used in a wrestling room before. So I'm just going to call it by the name the game gives it. But he missed that leg drop there off the top rope. And another big kick to the face. And now Lil Caesar. Nice counter there with a knee lift by Richard Thompson. And there's a flying forearm right to the face by Richard Thompson. And now it looks like he's going after the arm here. Trying to wear out Lil Caesar there. And now look at this. Big, was that like a reverse springboard leg drop there from Richard Thompson. As now Caesar manages to get back up to his feet. Nice couple of jabs there from Richard Thompson. And now has Caesar by the arm. He's going to Irish whip him over there into the corner. And there's a shot to the back. And now he's picking up Caesar. He's going to drop him with snake eyes head first right onto the turnbuckle. Goes Lil Caesar. And now look at this springboard splash there by Richard Thompson. And back to the arm he goes of Lil Caesar. It looks like the arm now, the left arm of Lil Caesar appears to be targeted by Richard Thompson. And now a counter sending Lil Caesar over the top rope here. But Caesar now counters back. And now look at this. Springboard shooting star press onto the standing Richard Thompson. He's hooking the leg off of that. Not even a 2 count Richard Thompson kicking out. And neither of these two superstars wanting to show any sign of weakness here in this matchup, as we've been seeing a lot of 1 counts. And there's the Bulldog off the ropes there by Lil Caesar. And now he's dragging Richard Thompson away from the ropes. That's actually a very smart decision. And oh, a nice leg drop right onto the head, onto the face. There's a cover, and another kick out by Richard Thompson at 1. And yeah, that's also partially due to the 1 count glitch, but big knee to the face now by Lil Caesar, dropping Richard Thompson, but Thompson now, a boot right to the side of the head of Lil Caesar, and a float over DDT, planting him face first into the mat, and looks like Caesar's been busted open. And now Richard Thompson went for the splash once again, and Lil Caesar managed to get out of the way. And now Lil Caesar got him up on his shoulders, going for that Emerald Fusion, but no, Richard Thompson counters into reverse DDT, and Richard Thompson could be moments away from a victory here. There's a knee lift counter from Lil Caesar, and now here's a small package roll up here by Richard Thompson. No, another kick out by Lil Caesar. I thought Richard Thompson might have had him there, but Caesar manages to kick out. And now Richard Thompson able to get out of that headlock from Caesar, and now counters, whipping Caesar into the turnbuckle. Looked like he missed an enziguri there. That could maybe cost him here, give Caesar enough time to recover. And another big kick to the face by Lil Caesar. And now Caesar appears to regain control in this one. There's a kick to the gut. Looks like he's trying to fire up a comeback here. 1 to the face, and a second kick. And now Richard Thompson misses the clothesline, and he takes him down with an arm trap neck breaker. Nice move by Lil Caesar. As now he picks up Richard Thompson, and he's lifting him up once again for the Emerald Fusion. And this one's got to do it, folks. I think that's it. Richard Thompson is done here. He's knocked out cold. There's no way Richard Thompson's going to be able to kick out of this second Emerald Fusion. I mean, he managed to kick out of 1, but this second one's going to do it. It is over. Lil Caesar gets the victory, a big victory, huge victory, not only for himself, but for Armageddon, getting the win over Richard Thompson. And I mean, at this rate, Armageddon is doing exactly what they said they would do. They're beginning to take over UCW, and I mean, if they can just keep stringing together these victories, they're definitely going to show their dominance. But this victory, I'd have to say, this makes Lil Caesar the #1 contender for the Hardcore Championship. That was a definitive victory, and he has made himself the clear-cut #1 contender. In a world where success is based upon material accolades, Richard Thompson surrounds himself with fantasies of a brighter future. A future where Richard Thompson is the alpha male, savior of the masses, and an almighty god. Last week, I delivered a message, a prologue of what is to come. UCW is about to be plunged into darkness under the might of Armageddon. And it's only a matter of time before anarchy runs free and chaos reigns supreme. Listen to the devil's call, for the heavens are about to fall at the feet of Armageddon. And what a bit of an odd persona Lil Caesar is now. I don't know, that's actually the first time we've seen Lil Caesar. Is that the first time Lil Caesar's been on the mic at all in this universe mode? I mean, it's definitely the first time he's picked up a mic since joining Armageddon. That might have been the first time Lil Caesar's ever been on the mic. So, I mean, that has, yeah, I don't even know what to say. I mean, he's definitely a unique persona based on that promo, and that just shows more of what Armageddon is set out to do. Lil Caesar, he's set his sights on Richard Thompson's Hardcore Championship. And, you know, that's just more to say that Armageddon is here to take over and that the heavens will fall. There's quite a statement made by Lil Caesar. So, I mean, I don't know. UCW's got to be worried at this point. I mean, Zander and Sledder, they're still fighting over control of the company. And from what Armageddon, they're out to create anarchy. So, I mean, while we got two guys fighting over control of the company, I mean, anarchy is just looks like it's going to start breaking out here in UCW, and it has a bit already. So, I mean, by the time somebody does, you know, gain definitive control of this company, I mean, what is it? What is the company they're going to win? I mean, with Armageddon, if they accomplish what they mean to accomplish at Final Destination, then, I mean, all of UCW is put on notice as of now. And I mean, if Armageddon does win the tag team titles, does win the hardcore title, I mean, that only leaves one championship left before they have complete control over UCW. And while I guess you know, championships may not mean complete and total control over UCW, but it is a very large, it would have a very large impact on the daily proceedings of UCW. And I mean, I don't know, UCW is in trouble if Armageddon can succeed at Final Destination, but there's a big miss of the kick there from Nicholas Colt. As now we can see this is a one-on-one matchup. Nicholas Colt taking on Shane Cooper. And if we remember last week, Demon Douglas faced off against Frost. And later on in the show, after Demon Douglas had won, he got his head bashed through the window of a car thanks to Nicholas Colt. If we remember back at the No Escape pay-per-view, Demon Douglas threw Nicholas Colt through a glass window himself. So a bit of an eye for an eye sort of situation. You know, Nicholas Colt just getting his retribution on Demon Douglas by slamming him through that window. So, okay, what the heck? Oh my, I think that's my sister's phone going off over in the other room. So, that is some ringtone. I'm not even sure if you can hear that or not. But I'm just going to try and let it go, even though it's really distracting. But it's not worth pausing the commentary because I don't want it to throw off the timing of the audio or anything. So I'm just going to let that go. And anyway, so back to the matchup. Like I was saying, we had a bit of an eye for an eye last week. And now Nicholas Colt gets the opportunity, first opportunity since No Escape, to compete in the ring. But I mean, Nicholas Colt, he had an opportunity to capture the UCW Championship at No Escape. But Demon Douglas costed him his opportunity, cost him the match by distracting him. And, you know, Nicholas Colt's anger just got the better of him on that, or at that event, as that phone is really getting annoying. Hopefully it stops soon. But anyway, so Nicholas Colt now, his first in-ring matchup since the No Escape pay-per-view. The phone's finally stopped. So, I mean, that completely threw me off my game now. I got to get back into focus here. But, Nicholas Colt now has Shane Cooper in a headlock here, and he's going to take him down. Just basically grabbed him by the arm and threw him over his shoulder. That could hyperextend Shane Cooper's shoulder, his arm. I mean, that could definitely do some damage to that arm. As now Shane Cooper, there's a shot right to the kidneys of Nicholas Colt, but now Colt countering back with some elbows right to the face. And now a clothesline from behind, dropping Shane Cooper. And speaking of Shane Cooper, you know, like I said, he's become this two-faced, bipolar character at this point. I mean, first, back at the Overboard pay-per-view, he turned his back on his tag team partner, Chris Xavier, and joined the Clique. And then 2 weeks ago, he turned his back on Colin Watson and the Clique by, he attacked him. Well, no, he didn't attack him. He just left the match. So, I mean, I don't know what Shane Cooper's trying to accomplish at this point. I mean, if he's trying to get us to talk about him, then that's working, because, I mean, I don't understand his logic. However, I mean, like, that's the second partner he's turned his back on, and I mean, it's hard to stick with a guy like that because he doesn't really have any sort of consistency. But I think it looks like he's finally settled in on a singles career. Maybe he's finally realized that the tag team division is not for him. I mean, obviously, you got to be on the same page with your tag team partner, and, you know, leaving them in matches or attacking them after the match is definitely not the way to go about that. But Shane Cooper now on his solo career, so we'll have to see how that works. Of course, being this close to Final Destination, I don't know. I think Shane Cooper might have been better off with Colin Watson. I mean, I think, you know, he had something established there, and although, if Shane Cooper had been in the match, who's to say that the Clique wouldn't have been #1 contender for the tag team titles? They could have won the tag team titles at No Escape. But I mean, now that he's sort of skipped out on Colin Watson, I don't know. What can Shane Cooper really do to get himself on the card of Final Destination? I mean, maybe he'll get a match with Colin Watson, maybe. I mean, we'll have to see where the little thing goes in the future. But I mean, Shane Cooper did get a win over Colin Watson last week. But anyway, let's talk about this matchup now, because I don't even know how to describe Shane Cooper anymore. What has been going on with him is just weird. I don't know how to describe it. Nicholas Colt drop kick right to the chest of Shane Cooper, taking him down. Epic voice crack. And now Nicholas Colt takes him down with the amateur wrestling takedown. And Nicholas Colt now delivering the boot right into the face of Shane Cooper. And now Nicholas Colt, look at this, back suplex and a kip up to follow it up as well. I mean, Nicholas Colt has just taken complete control of this match until Shane Cooper hit him with that knee. I mean, obviously, you know, Shane Cooper doesn't understand the art of the squash match, but a big crossbody in the corner there by Nicholas Colt. And now Nicholas Colt, rapid kicks right to the face. 3 in a row right there. And now Nicholas Colt, big punch right above the eye of Shane Cooper, right to the forehead. And now picking Shane back up here. But Shane Cooper now kick right to the leg. And a drop kick now. So he went once low and once high with the kick to the leg and then the drop kick. And now, oh my God, out of nowhere, Nicholas Colt connected with that knockout punch. And Shane Cooper, you know, there was a bit of a game mechanic mistake. As, you know, whenever they get busted open and they kind of sit up. And I went to pin him and he got picked up. And her phone is going off again. Oh, my God. But, I mean, she's not even here, so what the heck. But, anyway, so, yeah, this is supposed to be, you know, the squash match. Shane Cooper's defying the art of the squash match, and it was starting to get, you know, painful to watch, because at this point it just had to be dominant, because, you know, it was only supposed to be this little squash, so let's just knock him out one more time, and let's just pin this 1, 2, 3, get this over with. And there we go, Nicholas Colt getting the victory over Shane Cooper like he was supposed to. Would have been nice and easy if Shane Cooper didn't, you know, if he was willing to take his loss like a man. And it looks like he's still not willing to take the loss like a man. But now look at this, Nicholas Colt. He saw the attack coming, and now he's going to toss Shane Cooper over the top rope to the floor. So Shane Cooper tried for a bit of an attack afterwards, and that did not work in his favor. He got catapulted over the top rope and landed flat on his arse. So, definitely backfired for Shane Cooper. But now let's move into this next matchup, which, as we can see, here's one half of the UCW Tag Team Champions, CSM. Remember, CSM and KBM won the tag team titles back at the No Escape pay-per-view. In fact, they had a bit of a clash with Shane Cooper and Colin Watson. To get there, they had the number 1 contenders tag team match. Of course, they won that when Shane Cooper he hung Colin Watson out to dry, so to speak. Left Colin Watson to fight him alone in basically a handicap match. A glorified handicap match, if you will. 2-on-1. And, of course, KBM and CSM, I mean, it wasn't going to be that difficult for them to win. But this match actually has a little bit of backstory behind it itself. If we remember, X5, really how he and KBM both burst onto the scene here in UCW about a month ago, there was a 4-man battle royal. They were the final 2. They put on pretty good matchup. They had a nice epic clash there. And in the end, X5 ended up getting the victory over KBM. Following week, I mean, the board of directors and Sledder, they were just so impressed with their performance that they were willing to give them their own one-on-one matchup. And X5 got the victory there as well. So he was 2-0 against KBM. And now that KBM and CSM are tag team champions, KBM has experienced some success of his own. So this is a bit of a, you know, maybe try to get a bit of a redemption for his brother on the part of CSM. Because, I mean, KBM, in 2 matches, he couldn't get the win over X5, couldn't get the job done. So we'll see if CSM can do what KBM couldn't, and if he can get the victory here over X5. And we know, it was announced earlier, X5 would be competing on Team Zander for Final Destination. And he'll be in that elimination 6-man tag team match, along with Max Bell and Damarcus Hardy, who, I mean, Damarcus Hardy has actually been kind of mentoring X5 recently. He's kind of taken him under his wing, the veteran Damarcus Hardy. I mean, in that 6-man tag match, Demarcus is definitely more of the friend style, not style, but he's definitely not rising talent. But I mean, Damarcus Hardy, he is an old friend of Zander James, and he can still go. As we saw at the No Escape pay-per-view, Damarcus Hardy was in the final 2 in the Elimination Chamber match. So I mean, Damarcus Hardy can still go, and while he can, he's willing to take on a mentor, yes. He's willing to take on a apprentice, if you will, a prodigy, his own little prodigy here, X5. So I mean, X5 being mentored by Damarcus Hardy, that's definitely a good way to get your foot in the door here in this company. I mean, first he got 2 impressive victories over KBM, caught Damarcus Hardy's attention, and now they're in their own little faction So, I mean, X5 has clearly been picking up a few tips, a few pointers from Damarcus Hardy, as he's been getting to get more intense in these matchups. Oh, big spear, just like that. Out of nowhere, explosive, high-impact offense. And, I mean, at first, I mean, X5, he was a bit smaller, a bit more of a high flyer. But ever since being under the tutelage of Damarcus Hardy, he's kind of, looks like he's gone to the gym a little bit, and he's kind of bulked up, turned into more of a power style of offense. As we saw with that big spear, he's definitely turned into more of a brawler, more of a powerhouse, more so than a high flyer. As now this gives a bit of a power versus speed matchup. But I mean, X5, while he is not, I mean, he's no longer as quick as he used to be now that he's got all the extra muscle. He won't be able to move around quite as fast, but he's definitely not, he's not all power. He's still got some speed elements to his offense. So is that an alarm or something on her phone? I don't know why it's going off a third time, trolling my videos. This is ridiculous, but I'm still not going to stop the commentary. I'm going to power through because I can do it. Just like X5 is beaten down on CSM, that didn't transition well at all. But, yeah, I'm not even sure if you guys will be able to hear that. Well, guys or gals, depending on who's watching the video. But, you know, now that I've been thrown completely for a loop here, friendly rating reminder. Please remember to leave a like on the video if you're enjoying, and leave a comment on what, if you've ever had a moment where pesky phone ringtone just, like, embarrassing, or, you know, some sort of awkward moment where a phone just randomly rings, completely throws you off your game, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so X5 gonna send CSM over there into the corner, and now dropping him to the mat here. Oh, and yep, this is a bit more of that semi-high flying offense we see, taking him down with that drop kick off the top rope, hooking the leg here, and CSM kicking out at one. But see, that's what I was trying to say, and there he went for another drop kick. So he's still got those acrobatic, high-flying, speed offensive moves in his arsenal. But, I mean, he has made a bit more of a transition into the brawler style, taking on a little bit more muscle to back up those punches. Whereas CSM, you know, he is a bit outsized here, so he's utilizing basically only speed. But X5 now tossing him over the top rope. CSM manages to hang on and taking him down now. But CSM going to be a bit more technical here. Use some of this high-flying offense. Maybe target a body part of X5. I mean, that's usually a good strategy for any sort of matchup. Especially, you know, if you're outsized, outpowered. In that sort of case, you can maybe go for an arm or a leg. Maybe more so an arm, because that's usually what they do all the lifting with. But if you're going up against, like, a high flyer, taking out the legs is definitely the way, because that's, I mean, they're not going to be able to climb the top or the arm. Like,
cut that little part out, if I remember. But anyway, yeah, my computer, I don't know why it does this, but if it'll sit idle for, like, if it'll sit idle, quote-unquote idle, because the video's been playing the whole time for like 20 minutes, and I've been doing commentary over it. But, you know, if I don't, if I'm not, like, moving the mouse around the video or clicking things, it thinks my computer's idle. So I'm moving the mouse around a whole lot on my screen right now to make sure that the commentary doesn't, because that's usually what messes up the commentary, when I'll, you know, skip parts and then get really low pitched for whatever reason. I hate when it does that. I mean, it's just so annoying for me. I mean, whether it's annoying or not for you watching the video, it's annoying for me because it shouldn't be happening, and I find it annoying. And it kind of, in my opinion, I mean, I don't know, like, my standards of videos to have good commentary, good gameplay, HD quality, good matches that are entertaining, that sort of thing, entertaining commentary. And then when the audio, I mean, while it can kind of make some funny moments, it downgrades the quality a little bit, in my opinion. And I just don't like it when that happens. But as we can see, hook in the leg, and a kick out there at 2 by X5. So now CSM building up a bit of momentum here. And a nice counter there by CSM. X5 now pulling him back, but there's a kick right to the gut. And now CSM thought he might have had an opening to maybe go in for a finish or go in for the kill there. But I guess he wants to inflict a little more damage on X5. But maybe he missed his opportunity here, as now it's X5 back in control. Measuring CSM here for a neck breaker.
And there's a punch to the gut now by CSM. And now he blocks the kick. Nice counter there by X5. I think there CSM might have been attempting his finisher. And X5 was very... I lost the word I was going to say there. I completely lost the term I was going to use. But now there's an elbow right to the leg by X5. But X5 was aware of what was happening. He knew that the finisher was coming, and he managed to counter it appropriately. As we saw, a nice counter there from CSM. Ducking the spear, and now kicking him in the face right off that DDT counter. So X5 got to be careful. Maybe could get busted open here, because, I mean, we know how fragile superstars are in WWE13, how quickly they get busted open. And now CSM just kind of suckered X5 out there. Went out there and uncovered the announce table, but then was able to get out of the way when X5 came to go diving over the top rope. So it was a very smart move there by CSM, just kind of suckering X5 out there, making him take the plunge. As the phone again. What? I don't even know what's happening there. But anyway, so CSM now, they're both back on the outside. So X5 looking to keep things in the ring. CSM kind of wants to take things outside. And I mean, with X5, he's in control now. He's in control. So I mean, CSM wants to avoid taking a pin, and by bringing the action to the outside, that is going to avoid the pinfall or submission attempt. But look at X5 here, up on the top rope. Oh my, what a move! Taking down CSM there, and now X5 could be looking to finish it off of that. I mean, he might have been able to get the win off that move, but he wants to make sure CSM stays down. F5! I'm not going to call it the X5, even if that's what the move is, because I think that's just, I don't know. But hooking the leg now, that's 2, 3. X5 gets the victory over CSM. And even if that is the name of his finisher, I'm not going to call it the X5. That is too corny, in my opinion, even though I love cheesy jokes, but I'm not going to call it the X5. That might be the finisher name. I don't know. I'm not going to call it that. But anyway, X5, CSM couldn't get the job done. He couldn't defeat X5. So X5 now 3-0 against KBM and CSM. I don't know if I knew like what the initials stood for. I could say like the M family. Like I don't know. Against the brothers of KBM and CSM, he's victory. Okay, he's 3-0 against KBM and his family. How about that? We'll say that. So X5 getting a victory, and that's definitely going to help build some momentum leading into Team Zander versus Team Sledder at Final Destination, which is still a couple of episodes away. And you know, I was debating whether or not to, because I'd originally moved Final Destination up. Wait a minute, what the heck is this? Nicholas Colt backstage here. Oh my God, that's a car! Nicholas Colt just nearly got run over by a car, and we have to. There's no doubt about it. That was Demon Douglas in that car. Or maybe it wasn't Demon Douglas. Maybe he hired a hitman. But knowing Demon Douglas, he seems to like to do his dirty work himself. So Demon Douglas just tried. He's out to kill Nicholas Colt, is what it looks like at this point. I mean, this has gotten way out of hand between these two. Very aggressive. And he maybe. That I'm just freaking out now. I mean, Anarchy is taking control of UCW. Armageddon, they may not have taken over yet, but they're getting what they want. I mean, Demon Douglas, we got people driving out in cars trying to run people over, people getting put through glass windows during championship matches. I mean, this Armageddon thing, this Anarchy is just, they've already begun for all we know. It appears that way anyway, but now coming down to the ring is Armageddon themselves. Amazing X and the Ghost. If we remember, the Ghost lost the Hardcore Championship at No Escape in the Elimination Chamber. First one eliminated by Richard Thompson. But last week, Amazing X said that Ghost doesn't need the title anymore. He got what he needed out of that championship. He established himself as a singles competitor, and now he and Amazing X are going after the tag team titles. As that's not a bad strategy. I mean, Ghost. I mean, it's not false information. Ghost held the title for, he won it in May at Bio Resilience. He held it up until what is now October for Final Destination almost. We're getting close. Actually, technically, this is still September. We're not in October yet. But, I mean, Ghost, he held the title for quite a long time. So, you could argue that Amazing X is right. Ghost doesn't need the title. He doesn't need the championship anymore. He's already established himself. But then we've got Caesar. You know, Caesar has been in that division for quite a while. He's challenged Ghost for the title and hasn't managed to get the job quite done. So maybe the Hardcore Championship for Caesar is being used maybe as a bit of an initiation. I mean, that's what, it might not be the case, but that's kind of what I'm taking a look at it right now. As, you know, Caesar, he has put on good matches, but when it comes down in the clutch, you know, in the big moments, he hasn't been able to win the big one. He hasn't, when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, Caesar has been unable to get the job done, as we saw at the Overboard pay-per-view when he did challenge Ghost for the title. And, I mean, he had a couple matches with Ghost, and Ghost ended up getting the victory on those occasions. So, this is probably a bit of initiation. I mean, Caesar is part of Armageddon now, but this is just sort of a test for Caesar. I mean, if he can win the championship, then he is clearly equal to the other two superstars. But, I mean, I don't know, could he maybe be seen as the weak link if he doesn't win the title from Richard Thompson? I mean, Ghost, what am I going to say? Ghost is going to admit it. Ghost doesn't talk anymore. He had that one promo with Thurm, and he's been silent ever since. And that's actually made him more intimidating, in my opinion, because, you know, with Armageddon, we got Amazing X on the mic. From what we've seen earlier, Caesar can talk as well. He can talk a big game. So, I mean, Ghost, he doesn't really need to talk. You already have your two mouthpieces. You already have your two vocalists with Amazing X and Lil Caesar. They can cut the promos. Ghost now can just put more focus in the ring and delivering those vicious spears, the big high-impact moves to, you know, basically just wreck stuff in the ring. Because I'm not going to say the other word. I like to keep things child-friendly. Or not child-friendly, family-friendly. That's what I like to do. So, yeah, Drake Savior went for an elbow drop, a springboard elbow drop to the outside, and Ghost stepped out of the way. So Drake Savior landing right on his arm, or maybe he kind of moved out of the way there a bit and might have landed on his back or maybe his shoulder or something, but that definitely is not going to do well for Drake Savior, but a dropkick now sending Ghost to the outside. And so far, the Savior brothers have managed to isolate Armageddon. They've managed to keep Ghost away from Amazing X. They've managed to make tags in and out, and that's a good strategy for any tag team match. You want to be able to isolate your opponent from their partner. You want to be able to pick apart one guy so that you can get the pin on him. And so far they've been doing that with the Ghost. And now look at this inverted Frankensteiner by Drake Savior, getting a bit aggressive out there, getting a bit chaotic out there just with these four superstars. But Drake Savior showing no intimidation, going right after Amazing X. And now Ghost elbow right to the face of Drake Savior as Chris and Amazing X are completely distracted out there outside the ring. They're just going at it. As now Ghost and Drake Savior got to try and get back into the ring. And look at that. Look at that move there by the Ghost. And I mean, this is before Ghost made the transition in 2K14 and got jacked up on roids. Ghost can still do these high-flying maneuvers, and that's a joke that only UCW people are going to get. But basically, whoever created Ghost, Shemmingsworth, I don't know, but when he created him in 2K14, he wanted to make him a bit more powerful, so he's got these jacked up muscles, and we like to joke that he's on roids now. And so, I mean, in this game, he was still a high flyer. He can still do those moonsaults, those over-the-top rope dives into the ring, like Seth Rollins does to the outside, only it's not as epic because he doesn't go outside the ring, he goes inside the ring, but it's still cool because he's how huge. But I'm going way off topic here. What am I saying? Let's get back to the match. So now it's more so Armageddon has begun to isolate the Disciples of Darkness. They've been able to isolate Drake Savior here. As now Drake and Amazing X are in a lockup here. But Drake Savior's taking a lot of punishment at this point now. And a Northern Lights suplex by Amazing X. Really working the lower back now. And looks like that's what they've made the target here. They've pinpointed that lower back ever since Drake Savior made the dive to the outside. And he landed awkwardly. Don't know whether he landed on his arm or his back, his shoulder area. But Armageddon has definitely made it a point to target the lower back of Drake Savior. And now there's 2 kicks to the gut. And now Amazing X following it up with a side rush and leg sweep there. So, I mean, now Drake Savior's completely isolated. Armageddon has just taken over this matchup. And this is how Armageddon likes to operate, isolate their opponents and just try to weaken them until there's only so much. I mean, I don't even know where I was going with that, but off the finisher, 2 count, it is over. And I mean, Drake Savior stood no chance there at the end. I mean, Armageddon, they did a great job making tags in and out. They isolated Drake Savior. As we can see early on in the match, the Savior Brothers, the Subs of Darkness 2.0, they had control. They managed to isolate Armageddon. They managed to separate Ghost from Amazing X. And they had some good offense going. But then, once things started to break down and Armageddon began to isolate Drake Savior, I mean, there was really nothing Drake Savior could do. There was no way he was going to kick out of that finisher. And now look at this. Ghost with a steel chair right to the back of Chris Savior. Now Amazing X has one as well. Just clobbering away on the former tag team champions, the Savior Brothers. And definitely making a statement here tonight. That's all I can say about that. Armageddon, they're out to prove a point, and they are doing so. So, I mean, CSM and KBM, they're going to have to watch out, because Armageddon is hot on their tails. As Amazing X said last episode, KBM and CSM are marked men. And with Armageddon's attitude at this point, I mean, they've got a hit out on them. They got a fear for their lives at this point, more so than their championships, I'd have to say. Armageddon has shown that they are aggressive. They're willing to take the upper hand. They're willing to go to the extreme to get the job done. And I'm just kidding. Their lives are not on the line. But, I mean, could be, because these superstars' careers are their lives. They give themselves to these fans. And, you know, with the success that just came with them, with those tag team titles, with KBM and CSM getting the win, they got to worry now about Armageddon. I mean, not only just winning the tag team titles puts a huge target on your back, I mean, but now we've got this huge aggressive uprising with Armageddon. They're out to make anarchy. They're out to dominate and take over UCW. So, I mean, that puts KBM and CSM right in a line of fire immediately. And I'd have to say this is actually the worst point. I mean, this whole starting point, because you don't know what Armageddon is capable of completely. We've seen that they're a dominant tag team in the ring, but overall, we don't know how devastating Armageddon can be. So, I mean, KBM and CSM, like Amazing X said, if Armageddon has their way, they will make an example of those two. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how things go for Final Destination. Armageddon tearing it up in the tag team division, but now we got to move into the main event scene, where we've got the new UCW Champion Thurm, and as we can see now, he's decked out that title belt, got the pink strap. That is vintage Thurm. That is a classic symbol of the reluctant hero. Thurm likes to make things go pink. Likes to give his titles the pink strap. And now that he won the UCW Championship from Forza at the No Escape pay-per-view, he has done so, and he's going to go one-on-one with Damarcus Hardy here in our main event. As Damarcus Hardy was in the final 2 of the UCW #1 Contenders Elimination Chamber match, so he came very close. If it wasn't for Brian Cole managing to get the win, Damarcus Hardy, I mean, I don't know where I was going with that, but Brian Cole did get the win, so it's going to be Thurm versus Brian Cole at the main event of UCW Final Destination, which is going to be the final episode of WWE 13 Universe Mode. And I was going to say this earlier, and then I got sidetracked, but, you know, I was thinking of moving the pay-per-view up a week, because I've been kind of condensing the schedule a little bit, because at one point I was kind of getting sick of, not sick, but I was, you know, the gameplay was kind of starting to finally wear out on me. I was getting exhausted with the game. But now that I'm actually all set, I've got my storylines in motion for Final Destination, I'm ready to just get stuff recorded. And so I might just kind of try to record it like once a week until I'm out of episodes, just to make sure that I get it done. And then all I have to do is edit it, which is, I actually like editing videos, so that's not going to be a problem. And then commentary, I love doing commentary as well. So I mean, really the recording was the whole part, like the whole issue. I was getting burnt out with the game. But now at this point, I'm actually coming pretty close to the end, and I've got my storylines in motion, so I am eager to set up these match cards and record gameplay. But anyway, so like I was trying to say, I was planning on moving, I moved No Escape up a week because I didn't think I'd be able to continue the extra 2 episodes that would have been, or 2 or 3 or so, because I also moved Final Destination up 2 weeks, I think it was, because I wanted to have 6 weeks in between each pay-per-view, and then, or was it 5? I don't remember. It was 5 or 6, and then I moved Final Destination up a week, and then I moved No Escape up a week as well, so I moved Final Destination up another week, and now I'm thinking of moving Final Destination back 1 more episode, so that way it can be episode 113, because it's WWE 13. Ow, I'm such a genius. Yeah, but, so yeah, I'm thinking about doing that, so there's going to be this episode, 110, 111, 112. So that's 3 more episodes of UCW after this before Final Destination, which is going to be the final episode of WWE 13 Universe Mode. I'm thinking about possibly bringing back UCW maybe in 2K15, but don't quote me on that because, I mean, it's not set in stone yet because I can save that for another time. I'll discuss it more in depth another time because I've done it a couple times and I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. But I mean, WWE 13 Universe Mode is going to be done. 113, it's over. So while UCW might not be completely gone, I might bring that back in the future. WWE 13 Universe Mode will be done. I'm not going to bring back another WWE 13 Universe Mode series. So I figured 113 is a good way to go. But anyway, what I'm kind of trying to do is maybe, with my storylines that I got going right now, I don't think this is really spoiling anything, but I'm kind of trying to set up something so that, if I ever did want to come back to this, I have something to build off of, rather than just, everything happens, all the storylines went to a finale, there was a final conclusion, definite conclusion, and it would be very difficult to kind of pick up with stuff. And I mean, that's what they like to do. That's what WWE likes to do with WrestleMania as well. By the time this video is uploaded, WrestleMania will have passed. But John Cena and Bray Wyatt, they have a rivalry that I'm sure is going to go into Extreme Rules. So I mean, WrestleMania doesn't always end a story, and then you have to start completely fresh. I mean, while you do have to, most things come to a head at WrestleMania, there are a couple things that tend to sometimes transition through, and that's kind of what I'm trying to set up, so that if I ever did want to come back to this, it would be a whole lot easier because I had ideas planned. But, enough talk. Let's just let the match play out by itself. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant at all by enough talk, but I meant... Anyway, I'm sidetracking again. Back to the match. Thurm and Damarcus Hardy now. And you just have to take that into consideration. Damarcus Hardy, if he had won the chamber match, this would have been our main event for Final Destination. So that is a bit of a what-if sort of fantasy match. What could have been. But instead, we're getting it here tonight. But you have to think, if that did happen, would Brian Cole and Thurm potentially be facing off in this episode? I don't know. I don't think that's worth going into. That's a bit more of the side tangent stuff again. But Damarcus Hardy, this would be a big victory here if he could defeat Thurm. But I mean, he's not going to get placed in a championship match or anything. But I mean, once Final Destination does come to pass, it would definitely put him right up there for the number 1 or 2 contender for the UCW Championship if he could get a win over Thurm here tonight. Whereas Thurm, this is a matchup where he needs to build momentum heading into Final Destination, heading into the championship match. Because last week, Brian Cole got a win over Forza, so Thurm's got to try to set the pace. Brian Cole has set the pace. Thurm's got to equal. He's got to try to balance out the momentum. He's got to get the win here. If not, outdo Brian Cole and shift the momentum back in his favor. And look at that move. Black hole slam, if you will. Demarcus Hardy taking him down. Hook in the leg. Kick out there by Thurm. But, excuse me, I had to burp. Like I was saying, you got to try to battle for momentum now. This goes for any superstar who's going to compete in. Now a roundhouse kick by Thurm. But this applies to any superstar who is looking to compete at Final Destination, and any pay-per-view for that matter. If you're heading into a big-time matchup, you gotta battle for momentum. And right here, Thurm and Brian Colt are kind of trading back and forth. Gotta fight to carry the momentum into the matchup. And now look at this, Thurm lifting Damarcus Hardy up on his shoulders, and he takes him down with that finishing maneuver, the rolling senton, planting Damarcus Hardy into the mat. And now Thurm hooking the leg. 1, 2, and Damarcus Hardy manages to kick out there. It was a close call for Demarcus. Kick to the gut now by Thurm. Has him in a headlock here. Damarcus Hardy with a nice counter. And now taking him down, belly to back. Slam from Damarcus Hardy. And now Demarcus appears to be measuring Thurm for his finisher. Thurm got his. And now Demarcus, there's a knee lift. And now takes him down with a twist of fate. The face plant. Hook in the leg. That could be it for Thurm. 1. No! Thurm kicks out at 1. Yeah, I would say that could be no selling, but it's 1 count glitch. So, I mean, that's one of the things why I'm kind of getting fed up with WWE13's gameplay. Roll up here by Thurm. 1 count. 2. Demarcus Hardy manages to kick out. But as we can see now, Thurm got busted open off that knee to the face. And now a super kick by Thurm, catching Damarcus Hardy right on the jaw. Catching him flush. And now Thurm maybe setting up a comeback here. Looking to build up a head of steam here, taking Damarcus Hardy down with a second clothesline. And now kick right to the face. Driving that calf right into the face of Damarcus Hardy. And now Thurm hooking the leg. 1, 2. Nope. Damarcus Hardy kicks out. I was about to say Thurm Damarcus Hardy. So, I mean, I was almost correct with my statement. Almost, but not quite. And now Thurm, there was a kick to the gut. And now he's lifting Damarcus Hardy up for the thermal bomb. Plants him. Brain explosion. Thermal bomb. It's not over because the game mechanic screwed up again. So Thurm now kicking away at the leg of Damarcus Hardy. And now this match is going to continue. Now that the game messed up. Thurm going to the top rope. Went for the senton. And Damarcus Hardy rolled out of the way. And now it's Damarcus Hardy's turn to fire up a head of steam. Build up a head of steam. Fire up a comeback. But no, Thurm shuts him down with a spear. Ducking the clothesline and taking him down with a spear. And now Thurm hooking the leg. 1, 2, and again Damarcus Hardy manages to kick out. And now Demarcus is going to try and fire up the clotheslines again. 2 in a row. Ducks the clothesline for Thurm. Taking him down with a power slam. And now it's Damarcus Hardy's turn. He's got the momentum in his favor. And now look at this, trying to wrap up the arms here at Thurm. And take him down with a clothesline. Nice soda twist maneuver from Demarcus, hooking the leg now. 1. Thurm kicks out once again. And now Demarcus kicks to the gut. There's another knee lift. And he plants him once again with his version of the twist of fate. And now Damarcus Hardy hooks the leg. 1. No! Thurm kicks out again. Man, what is it going to take to keep Thurm down? There's a power slam by Damarcus Hardy. Hooks the leg. 1. And again, Thurm kicks out. Thurm is just a machine. This is why he held the UCW Championship for almost 2 years. That's what it was. That's why he held the title for almost 2 years. It is very tough to keep this man down. It's very tough to defeat him, to pin him 1, 2, 3. Off a super kick. That's 2, 3. Thurm gets the victory. And that was a hard-fought bout. Hellacious match between these two superstars. Demarcus took Thurm to the limit. Thurm took Demarcus to the limit. And in the end, Thurm just had a bit more left in the tank than Damarcus Hardy. And I mean, Demarcus had a very strong outing. But I mean, this man, this superstar Thurm, was UCW champion, UCW heavyweight champion for almost 2 years. That just shows how tough it is to beat this man. And Demarcus landed 2 finishers, so that just goes to show, what kind of damage you've got to do to this man. If you can inflict that much damage, hit 2 finishers, I say you've done a very good job. You normally would have beaten any other superstar, and it's a very strong outing against a guy like Thurm. And look at this! DJ Storms is back. He's back to congratulate Thurm. He's just returned here. Well, that's a way to go out, isn't it? Go ahead and enjoy your victory while you have it, Thurm. Because at Final Destination, I will take what you hold most precious to you. The one thing that has the most importance in your life. That UCW Championship. At Final Destination, all of my hard work will pay off, and I will take that title from you. So celebrate while you can, because at Final Destination, you will experience the epitome of suffering.